What's up everybody and Happy New Year. I'm Derek, this is Rocking E Forge, and today I'm going to be forging a small pair of scrolling tongs. So, let's get rocking. Alrighty, it is no kidding just above freezing where I'm living right now, so I'm going to let my forge heat up and I'm going to preheat my anvil so it doesn't suck out all of the heat from the piece that I'm actually trying to forge on. But for this project, I'm going to be using two 6-inch lengths of 1/2 inch square that I'm going to both toss in the forge. And I'm going to start this out like a normal pair of tongs. So I'm going to set off, that might not be enough. All right, I'm going to set off more. That should be plenty. I'm going to set off, and don't worry, I'll come in and file that down so I don't get a cold shut. But I'm going to set off about 3/4 to an inch of material off the near edge of the anvil and hammer that flat for now, down about half the width of the parent stock, so just about 1/4 inch. And I want these to match as close as possible to each other, because the closer they are to matching perfectly, the better they're going to line up and the less work I have to do in the long run. All right, so from the spot where I've got it laid over on the near edge of the anvil, I'm going to rotate 90 degrees toward my tong hand. I'm going to slide that to the far edge of the anvil, and I'm just going to take this heat to set this corner because you don't want to mess this portion up. Really slow going here. Resetting that spot against the far edge of the anvil between every hammer blow. And that way we've got this isolated so that this section is going to become, this little section here is going to become the boss where the rivet's going to go through, and this section is going to become the needle nose portion of the scrolling tongs. I'm going to make sure that the boss portion is forged down to no less than half the original parent stock material, and then we're going to move on to the next step. And it is worth covering that whatever I did on the other side, or on the previous, I'm going to copy and do the exact same thing on the other side so that they match exactly, because you take these and rotate them over together, they should eventually, once we've got them all forged out, they should eventually meet up together at the boss and mirror each other when rotated. So now that I've got the boss areas forged down to 1/4 inch flat, staying at the far edge of the anvil, I'm going to rotate 90 degrees again toward my tong hand and set off about a square's worth of material. And once again, set in a shoulder to isolate the boss area from the rest of the tongs. Now, you do not have to make these left-handed. That's like, I'm making them effectively to work in my left hand. You could rotate toward your hammer hand each time. So start here, isolate, rotate toward your hammer hand, come to the far edge of the anvil, rotate toward your hammer hand again. And that would result in this little flag or paddle being offset in the opposite direction as opposed to this direction. But it's important that when you're doing this between the two sides of the pair of scrolling tongs, that you do the same thing and not go in opposite directions, because you will not get them to line up otherwise. I'm going to use the rounding face of my rounding hammer. To try to spread that out as much as I can, kind of from the center. And while I'm here, I'm going to work on getting rid of this kind of raggy area there right at the transition. And then I'll take a file to that. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this kind of reverse grip and lay the paddle off the edge of the anvil. I'm going to really lightly hammer down the corners, and you can do this also off the edge of the anvil. You can do this off the near edge also. And now that I've got this kind of figured out about where I want it, I'm going to spin this around. We're going to start drawing out the reins on both of these. Given this is 1/2 inch square, I probably don't need the whole 6-inch length. So I'm going to start with a piece isolated, 2 inches of material, and we're going to start drawing these out over the horn. And now that I've got this kind of drawn out, I'm just going to even everything out. About 6 inches. I'm going to cut it off here where it just starts to get a little thicker. And I think I'm just going to do a little rat tail scroll on the end, just to add a little added decoration. Okay, so I lied. As soon as I cut that off, I realized I kind of liked the way it looks. I'm just going to refine this down. I'm going to leave the part up by the boss at a 3/8 by 1/4, but I'm going to forge the rest of the reins out to a 1/4 inch and leave this kind of swelled portion right at the end. And now that I've got that forged down to roughly square, I'm going to come in and chamfer all the corners. All right, so next, I'm going to go back in the fire and I'm going to work on the boss a little bit more. Looking at my other pair, I'd like to kind of elongate this to kind of get this lazy S shape as opposed to the 90-degree that I've kind of got going on here. And I think that turned out much nicer. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, and then I'm going to move to forging the actual scrolling jaws of the tongs. And the goal here is going to be to forge this into a blunt taper. A blunt square taper, mind you. And for that, I am kind of keeping my piece, instead of having it flat on the anvil and forging down at an angle, I'll just show you, which would put that taper down in line with the piece. I'm holding it up at an angle off the anvil and forging down on that to make sure that the point is in line with this surface. And then talking to waste all of my heat. Now, here's to show you that they're forged exactly the same way so that when you spin it over, they're meant to fit up with each other so that they pivot at the boss instead of ending up like this where the reins would be on the same side if you forged them in opposite directions. So we're gonna keep going, but just wanted to show a little kind of midpoint for the forging process. And I'm going to once again use that kind of trick to angle this so that I'm keeping this this surface as flat as I can, but I'm skinnying out that extra material. And that is pretty well where I want to leave it. So I'm going to work my darndest to get the other side to match this. Now getting these to meet in the middle is going to be a chore, but I think that'll be saved for once I've got these riveted together. Next step I'm going to do is just chamfer all these corners, but I'm leaving these extra thick on purpose so that I can grind down to the same shape later on, and I can refine a lot of that shape, especially in the boss and the jaws, on the grinder. I'm going to go ahead and put a decorative, maybe just a half or a full twist right here toward the end of the reins. I think that'll give it a nice decorative, element to it. And then I'm going to let them cool down and go to the grinder and clean up all of the surfaces and all of the, lumps and bumps from the forging process and grind the jaws down a little bit. I'm going to leave them still fairly rough because when I rivet everything together and then hammer them down to try to meet, I will need to do some filing and grinding to refine them at the very end. When I'm getting ready to punch the hole for the rivet, and I'm going to center punch. Nailed it. Now when I bring this to the anvil, I'm going to lay this on the anvil such that I can fit it in my hold fast, and the jaw of the tong is overhanging the far edge of the anvil, and I'm going to start punching with my ball end punch so I can get a little bit of extra spread out of it. And it gives me the opportunity to, if I end up off-centered with the ball end punch, I can angle the punch and drive that in the direction to move the hole in toward the center. And then once I've got the hole spread wide enough, I'll start punching through the material with my round punch. Once I've got that down, 3/4 of the way through the material, I'm going to remove my holdfast and then turn that over, and you can see a shiny spot here on the back side of the boss. So I'm going to back punch this, and it'll punch the plug out on the other side. Okay, so this is a little too small for the 3/8 inch rivet that I've got. And if you're thinking to yourself, isn't 3/8 kind of overkill on that? Yes, but I punched the hole too big for my 1/4 inch rivet, so we're going with 3/8. But I've spread that material about as much as I care to. I'm going to drill that out the rest of the way to that 3/8 inch dimension, just to make everything pretty much perfectly fitted to the rivet. All right, so I got these drilled out. Now I've got things pretty well roughed in. The jaws are going to take a little bit of work. So I'm going to do some adjustment on the jaws, and then we're going to go back to the grinder before I actually rivet everything together. All right, before I go any further, I'm going to touch mark this. Ooh. Now I need to figure out how long I need this rivet, because this rivet is exceedingly long. So I'm probably going to cut it off right about here. Okay. Just go back in the fire to see if I can try to loosen it up a bit. This is kind of an interesting balancing act. There we go. I'm going to give them a brushing. I'm doing this hot because, one, it's the most effective time to brush. Scale off is just fresh out of the forge, but also because I'm going to give it, like I do with nearly everything that I make, a nice coating of beeswax pretty much everywhere except the jaws. So there's no point in doing a dedicated wax of the jaws, but that beeswax is going to melt off the jaws themselves in use anyway, because it's going to be in contact with actually hot steel. But other than wiping off the excess beeswax, these are all finished up. And that is going to do it for this project. I think they're going to work really nice for what I need them to. I did manage to get them all loosened up without too much trouble, and they meet up fairly well, which I'm pretty happy with. But that is going to do it for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, please drop a like, leave a comment, hit subscribe, ring that notification bell. If you want to support me in the channel further, please consider becoming an honorary striker on my Patreon. That link is in the description below the video, or please consider becoming a member on my YouTube channel. And as always, keep on rocking.